welcome to B4U. You're with me, Salil, and this is hallowed turf actually that I'm in. It's almost like the strong room of where, if you walk in, you'll see all the pictures of Shahrukh Khan, and you'll see, I actually spent a lot of time on that wall over there, which had a number of titles that were conferred on him, and I just realized, how much of a journey it has been. If you see behind me, these are all, a small sample of all the medals and all the trophies that he's won. A real privilege to be in this room, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
It's something that, I think the whole world always sits and judges, and, I think we all do that. We always want to see long journeys that have been very successful. Is this room one of those rooms where you do manage to come and because I see, some really fantastic names in there with the president of this country who's conferred honors on you. Do you sit back in this room and sometimes have a look? Is this a working room, by the way, that we're in?
This is my only working room. This is my only office, so that's why I don't have a telephone or a television or a music system here.
Right.
Maybe sometimes you get a speaker if I'm working on music with my team. Yeah, this is my quiet room. This is the room which I like because of the books.
Yeah.
This is a room I told my wife especially to design for me in the house. I said, I want a library.
Yeah, it looks like one of those old libraries.
Yeah, it's an old wooden English-British libraries. Some of the awards here, without taking away from the importance of them, because, awards and rewards, I think at every juncture in life they're important because they kind of, how do you say it, they justify to yourself, or it's like it's a vindication of your work, or you feel that, I did right. And so I have some really important awards like...
Is there one or two, like obviously the Padma Shri, you'd look back and you'll say that?
Yes, Padma Shri is there. There's the one from the French government and then one from the Malaysian government. Then there's a Moroccan, which are similar, like the civil honor that they give. And not being from those countries also, but I guess because of Hindi films and Indians all over the world, I've had that opportunity. So I respect it a lot. And I obviously feel very proud when I got the Padma Shri and I'd gone to the President House to get it. But I also feel they are milestones. They're not the end of your work. So I obviously my wife has put them here out of love, but I surround them so I know there is a lot more to do, a lot more to conquer, a lot more to cross. So I don't dwell on the past. And because your show reaches out to youngsters also, I would tell them the same. It's really nice to be vindicated for your work, but move on and try and think of all your what you might think as a finish line or the ultimate goal should just be a milestone. Don't think of it as a goal, because if you think of things, especially in artistic form, whether when you're anchoring or hosting or writing poetry or making a movie, if you think of a finish line, then I think art and craft comes to an end. As an artist, you should just keep on moving ahead.
But you also use it as, where you reached from where you were. I guess in your case, you've seen so much change in the film industry. You've been the pioneer of most of these changes. And now there's another shift. I think 2018 has been a fantastic shift for cinema. Yeah, as far as the audience is concerned, the kind of cinema that they're liking. So for you also, do you say, okay, now, not that these awards meant a change in the industry for you, but otherwise also, do you also change yourself and say, I've managed to conquer, say, 20 Filmfare Awards. Now I feel I want to go into the critical side of the films.
Not really. Actually, I think I became an actor in a very fortunate time. There was this whole liberal movement in 90s where Adi and Karan and Yashji and Suraj Barjatya ji, they were all making cinema which was opening us up to people, Indians and subcontinental people all over the world. They got very proud. Somehow the cultural attachment to your country became Hindi films and then South Indian films. And then, so that thing happened. Then you came into a place where I got opportunities to work with some great directors in different kind of films. They may not have done well. They'll say, the lovely Devdas, which did well too, Chak De India. Then you had Swadesh, which didn't do well, but gave me this opportunity to hone up my craft and art. And now I'm in a phase which is really fantastic for me because I've always been a director's actor. For me, I'm a medium for the director's vision or the storytelling. I've never been anyone else in my own head also. I'm so-and-so actor, I can do this, I can do that. No. If you think I can do it, then I'll give it my best shot. And suddenly you have this spate of wonderful directors who've come, youngsters, Anand Rai, and some other ones. Really, Manish, when he made Fan.
Which was, I think, a fantastic experiment on your part. I mean, I was blown away, I remember, with the amount that you experimented with in the first half, and you know what you were doing. I mean, obviously now you see with Zero also there's a lot of experimentation, but that was also a big risk that you took with Fan.
Yeah, see, not me. The risk is the director's vision. You can come to me and make a film which is more regular, which is more hero type.
Race.
Race also, but that also actually was, you know, there was a time when we started discussing, let's commercialize it, and I remember Rahul saying, no, he has to die in the end. We could have kept him alive and made him a hero. So go ahead with the idea that let's try it and be a little different within the formats. And we knew Race won't go and become that big blockbuster because it is little different. You know, it's not falling fully into the format. Fan, for Manish, you know, who's a young director, and he would say, look, I've got an opportunity to, I really like him. I've got an opportunity to work with Shahrukh, but I will put my career also on the line with a different kind of a film, you know. That was unfortunate, the film didn't do well, because
did it not? I mean, because from what I saw, numbers-wise, it did decently well. I mean, there was a lot of critical acclaim, at least with larger parts. So did it not do well for...
I think business-wise, it may not have done, and we were not. Adi is a very smart man, the smartest of producers. I don't think we were expecting it to be a commercial blockbuster.
It was a niche kind of film.
Yeah, it was niche, but I think within the niche also, I think it just, we made a mistake perhaps in the second half. Me and Manish, we still have to sit over a drink and discuss that. We always keep saying, kuch galti ho gayi humse. But like I was saying, the opportunity now to work with an Anand Rai who will think of me as a vertically challenged person and still in the scape of hopefully a commercial film, because you are releasing it in Christmas. So I think it's an interesting place to be. I'm fortunate as an actor that this phases are happening. And like you said, you know, the audience is opening up to a different kind of cinema. On my own, I'll never be able to do it. You know, every person has a limitation of their own thought and belief. I don't think I would a messy picture bana lunga unless I get an opportunity through some wonderful directors. And sometimes it'll work, sometimes it'll go wrong. But I think you have to keep trying, because unless you go wrong, you will never find magic. You know, if you try to learn a new magic trick, it won't come to you the first time. You'll have to practice, people will catch you and say, oh, no, and you keep practicing, and one fine day, you'll do the magic trick and people go, wow. But they won't realize how many times you failed trying to flip that coin, keep it in the back, and then when you do it finally. I think filmmaking is like that. To make magic, you have to make mistakes.
In your head, like, you know, like you said, that there's certain kinds of roles you would think that you would do, and the others that, say, the directors. Would you still be able to identify with a Raj and a Rahul in your head of yesteryear?
Now it's been years, so I don't remember what state of mind I was in. You know, there was a young lady who just met me, and she told me to say the dialogue, cheater, Rahul is a cheater, Rahul. I'd forgotten the dialogue. I mean, it's really wrong of me.
But quite a few films down the line, but yeah.
Yeah, but you know, cheater says, I just remember that part where she says, ye joke tha, I don't like jokes, I don't like you. So I don't remember what state of mind I was in. But when I was saying it, so many years ago, what, 20 years kuch hota hai? More maybe? 96 or something,
yeah, so, right? A little more.
So when I was saying it, then I could be in that zone if a director puts me in. Maybe not as youthful and maybe not with a cool chain, but I could be in that zone. Because as an actor, I don't believe I have a stage or an age. I am supposed to be someone who can be molded to what you want. Yeah. So if you were to make a film with me and you tell me, Shahrukh, you're an ice skater. I will try to mold myself to that. And I don't remain fixated to that. So once the movie's over, I'm gone away from it. So it's role play.
But is there a fear that your audience wants? See, because I remember, you know, growing up with your films, and there was always this thought that we want to see a Salman in a certain zone. We want to see Shahrukh in a certain zone. And I think there was also a fear that, you know, the producers, the distributors would they be willing to experiment at the loss of money at this big megastar image that they already had built up of Shahrukh Khan?
Yeah, it must be happening. I'm quite sure. And that's why I try to make the mega films myself, so that nobody loses money and I don't let anyone take them on. I release them myself and I've lost money on them. And return money when the distributors have lost with pride, because I understand that, you know, people would like to. I also believe, Salil, when I started off, the reason I became who I became is because you could not tie me down to a role. I could be a Bazigar, I could be a Kabhi Haan Kabhi Na, I could be a Raj, I could be a Devdas, I could be a Chak De India. And yeah, of course, whichever film became a big hit, people felt, like even today, I'm sure, why don't you do another Chak De? Why don't you do another Kuch Kuch?
I think that's perhaps the most asked question, because it's the most used anthem for any. India's doing very well in sports now. So I think it's the most abused anthem that there is completely.
Yeah, but
rightly
then
so. But
my thing is, I've already done it. I can't tie myself down to that. I can't tie my. Hopefully, I already commercial cinema is a template. Now, within that template, to formulate another template and become that one person is difficult for me. If you have to wake up every morning and go and act on a sound stage, it has to be exciting for me to be able to excite you. And then also I fail. Sometimes some things are very exciting to me, but I'm not able to excite the audience. So I think you have to keep it basic and hope your excitement at times matches the excitement of the audience.
this role, I think, in more ways than one, is just incredibly tough. They have to win, you know, looking at Shahrukh in a different avatar. They have to win, you know, considering the kind of scale that the film has. You know, we've heard these great numbers that are attached with the movie. I know it probably doesn't matter because with changing time, you know, numbers also change with significance. But are you a little more nervous? I know that you can never be nervous before a film sometimes, but for the first time, would you feel a tinge of nervousness?
You know, it's not that I'm trying to sound, how do you say, more giving and less selfish. But my fear always is, have I been able to cater to you? Have I been able, you know, it's my dream, it's my interpretation. Himanshu's writing, and then I found out yesterday, 2,000 people working 24 hours a day for the last year and a half, who have put in their effort to make this dream come true. Now, my biggest thing is, there's so many people of us attached, but am I still going to let down this individual? So I hope I don't let you down, because, you know, me letting you down on a special film like Zero means a lot of people won't make a film like that. I may not be in a position myself to make a film like that again. And you're like, oh, do I have to go back to a template now to revive myself and the production and the basis of the trust that 200, 700,000 people put on me and regenerate all that? So my worry is that, my anxiety is that, my not nervousness.
Was it there before also when you started filming? Did you think that you could pull it off? Because I think in India, what they all say is, can it match the VFX? Because sadly now on the Fridays, you'll have the Hollywood films also coming in. So, you know, they'll, like what happened with Robo 2.0, they liked the second half, you know, matched their expectation of what they were saying, you know, which is why they were pleasantly surprised. You're competing now worldwide with the cinemas there for everyone.
No, VFX-wise, I have no worries at all. I mean, we'll be way beyond any Hollywood film. I mean, that I can say, because as a producer and as a filmmaker, if I may call myself that, the givens I will never be wrong with. Sound is a given. The visual appeal is giving. And visual effects is a given. I always tell my team, to a producer, there are 3-4 things which you can really control. The rest you can't. The story, the likability, the flight of the film, fame and popularity of a film, you can't. But as far as the technology part of it is concerned, which is a given, lighting should be good, sound should be brilliant, VFX should be world standard. On that count, as a producer, Red Chilies or Color Yellow with us this time, that I'll never fail. That I know for a fact. And that I can say it with pride more than arrogance, that no, VFX, I can make an Aquaman also if it was my property in the production. Like, we could make it. And I really hope Indians create their own properties like that and, you know, take the VFX to... It'll be really nice.
I think you've cracked it with whatever little we've seen also with this.
And it's a big VFX here to see, when you're flying and you're jumping, I'm not taking away from the import of that, but you can divert my attention with sound and a lot of inputs into the VFX, right. You know, when a guy's flying, you know. But when you just have a hero that you've seen for 25 years, in a certain avatar, 5'9", XYZ, and then suddenly he's 4'6" throughout the film without any crutches to divert your attention. There will be an emotional scene where I'll be crying. There'll be a happy dance where I'll be dancing, because there's a template of commercial cinema. And hopefully, I think right now I may be wrong. You'll know it better on social media and meeting people outside. But I think since last year, we've been able to get that key. Oh, this part is over. He is a good vertically challenged person. We accept him. Now tell us the story. That was the whole aim. So I think if that part is over, and I think in the film also, after 10, 15 minutes, the best part of this...
They'll treat you like the character itself.
Absolutely. I think the best part of this VFX film will be that none of the VFX people are going to get a VFX award. Not because they're so bad, but because they're so good.
We'll take a little break and come right back. I think he pushes boundaries every single time, and that's the beauty of Shahrukh Khan. And right here on B4U, there's lots more coming up. All right, you're back on B4U with me, Salil, and one of the most interesting films that we are seeing this year. And I would say that you know, 2018 is the bravest year for cinema because I think the audiences are making their own decisions. They're not being swayed by just big numbers and big stars. And I think all the actors are, I think, pushing the envelope that we hadn't probably seen in the years that have just gone past. And thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Shahrukh Khan is pushing the envelope. And I love that, you know, about the fact that you took on this big, it is a magnum opus without looking like a magnum opus. I think that was another point, you know, where you had the other big films that came out where they looked like they were fantastically large films. A lot of money was being spent here. Here, I think you're just making it look like a reality, and which is why the money is being spent.
It is a very cozy film. Yeah. It's not a big film. As a matter of fact, I was seeing it last night. I was telling my team, I hope people don't say, "Arey, itna kya bol rahe the?" Ye to, but the story is that. But to able, you know, technology has to be a part of enhancing the story. So in this case, its enhancement is going to be in terms of, it looks so real, yaar, whether it's in Meerut, whether it's in New York, whether it's in the Space Center, whether it is in the ballroom, it looks so real. To be able to actually make it real with a vertically challenged person, you have to do VFX. While you can obviously have wonderful films like 2.0, say Bahubali, where it is, those also extremely commendable. But in this case, the struggle is very different. That, you know, that can we just keep it real and take you into the reality. There is nothing to divert the attention. There's no action as such. But when you'll see it, if I can take it out, what Anand Rai sir says, neat and clean, and you'll say, अरे पता भी नहीं चला यार, कभी वो कैसे क्या होगा? अबे न्यूयॉर्क की स्ट्रीट के ऊपर कैसे भागे होंगे ये? And those things should be out of your mind when you see the film, inshallah. So
as an actor, was it very challenging for you to understand the mindset of, say, a vertically challenged person, and that's where Anand Rai comes in?
I think Anand and Himanshu had written a story. Why is he vertically challenged was the question. The reason was, we are making a film about celebrating incompleteness. So there's a girl who's a genius, but is afflicted with motor control issues with cerebral palsy. There's the most beautiful woman in the world, Katrina Kaif, but she's emotionally incomplete. And there is this really robust, outgoing, nearly bordering on the rude character, overconfident, who actually is quite cynical in his own head and has the issue of having been a vertically challenged person. So we all have issues, but can we, in spite of them, believe all of us have it, and in spite of that, let's just celebrate because life is one, and this is the only given body, persona, mind or heart you have. So just go for it. So the reason was that the person is to somehow tell you that in spite of who I am, I can really celebrate life. So once you see it like that, then you don't really have to study a vertically challenged person. I mean, I think I'm vertically challenged. I'm 5'9". When I stand next to a 6'2" person, I'm like, "Arey yaar, thoda aur lamba hota to." But then I'm sure 6'8" guy thinks, "Yaar, ki thoda sa chota ho to bhaiya sir pe
गाड़ी में
फिट कैसे आऊंगा? मेरी टांगें बहुत लंबी हैं यार, फर्स्ट क्लास में भी प्रॉब्लम होती है." So everybody's got their issues. It's always going to be, सबको मुकम्मल जहान नहीं मिलता, किसी को ज़मीन, किसी को आसमान नहीं मिलता. So the whole idea is, if you don't have it, can you still fly? So I thought of the character like that. Himanshu wrote it like that. Anand played it like that. And the VFX team at Red Chillies with Harry and all, they made it, do as you wish, we'll manage. Please don't curb yourself in terms of the enactment. The rest of the part leave to us. And me, Anand, Himanshu are very disorganized people. So we were not like previous.
Disorganized?
Very disorganized.
I would assume that you guys were perhaps like down to the T in everything.
Not at all, yeah. We are extremely disorganized. We are just fun-loving people. And that's why a 200-day film could seem like a 20-day film, because we had fun. It's a hugely patient-full film. You have to be really patient to make this film.
I mean, it's looking, I think all the patience is working. Two girls who I think have had a very long journey with you. One who started her journey with you. One, you know, who's also grown over the years. Katrina, Anushka, two of my favorites, actually. There's just this joy that Anushka brings with her performances. There's this joy that Katrina brings with her dance, you know, when she's on camera. I mean, you've seen them progress over the years. You know, what do you think about them now?
I think Anushka is an extremely conscientious person, very righteous, very correct, and a brilliant actress. She studied 6 months prep to get the cerebral palsy part of it right, even beyond what Anand expected, I guess. She had always a teacher or a tutor on sets, followed everything that he corrected us if we wrote something wrong or enacted something wrong. You know, this won't be able to do, like you're doing a song, no, she can't get up like this in this much time. She had it that much to the T. Amazingly consistent. I think the best thing in the film, if you honestly ask me. The part about, the talking part is obviously the vertically challenged visual effect Shahrukh Khan. But I think the mainstay of the film is Anushka Sharma. And you take her onto a film because you know the part that you give her will be handled with utmost care and consciousness, which nobody else can bring. So she's lovely. Katrina, on the other hand, I've always had a problem with Katrina because she's a very close friend and I love her. There has always been that when we are not making a film and sitting in a room and chatting post-shoot or whatever, otherwise personally at home, there's always this conversation, I want to, I think a scene can be like this. And I'm like, but why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you doing it? And she said, but people, and she got trapped into a star status even faster than I did. That, oh, we think Katrina should be a beautiful dancer. Oh, Katrina should be. Sometimes you're so beautiful, people don't want anything else from you. And they don't want to see the inner beauty. This film, Anand Rai wrote and said, the only person I want, before you also, sir, is Katrina Kaif. I went to talk to her. She was like, I don't know, maybe whatever, your story is not full. And finally, she's done it. And I think this is, I don't know if you've interviewed her yet.
No, we haven't.
When I'm hearing her interviews, this is the first time I'm hearing her speak so much about a character. I'm like, I'm so proud. I'm so proud. I don't want to sound patronizing. I hope that means
she's
Anand,
actually a very hard-working girl who puts in 2,000%.
Outstanding. Today a song has come out and people will love it. She'll get millions of views and people will talk about it. But inherently the character of Babita is out. Like in the film, I wanted to be Babita. Anushka wanted to be Bawa. And Katrina wanted to be Anushka's role. So it's very strange that we all like each other's roles a lot. And I think she's really nice in this film, Katrina. I hope people see that essence in this film. And she gets the gumption and she gets the drive to do different roles. And she can always have a dance. She can always have a dance. She can always have a Husn Parcham or Sheila Ki Jawani. Like in this film, it fits it because she's a movie star.
And there are lots of lovely, different looks of hers in that song. It's fantastic.
She's lovely. And Anand sir is quite amazing as a director. He did let her take a lot of, leadership in that because he knows she knows. That's the nicest part about Anand, that if he thinks you know the emotion better, he'll say you lead it. If he thinks he knows the emotion better, or whoever knows the emotion better, he'll make them the leader for every scene, role, dance, or action in the film.
Just before we wrap up, so much changed in Indian cinema with one film that you did mention there, Bahubali. Everyone started expecting the world out of it. I know a lot of us loved it. Have you really seen that much change in 2018, now that we're just winding up in this year? Do you really think as a filmmaker or as one of the leading stars of Bollywood, have we moved into the next level where it's no longer the cliched formula that maybe we were using for years? Or is it just maybe?
No, Salil, you'll have to always think of kind of films. You should never judge cinema by the change that you see because of one film. You have to see cinema as kind of films. So Bahubali is a kind of film. It's an event film where you have to, it's a big ticket film. You'll have to have the stardom, in this case, make really a beautiful event where people want to come and enjoy it in spite of the language also. Then there is going to be the offbeat film. For Stree, for example. It's an offbeat film. And you say, okay, there is this kind of film also. Then there is going to be, genuinely, like a typical action masala film also. And you say, okay, this is this type of film. I think you can't isolate them because two things will happen if you start isolating. You like one kind and you'll start hoping for these, which is not going to happen. And you'll dislike this and assume that they will go away. They're not going anywhere because the audience has always got varied tastes. We cannot, if it was so easy, one day I cracked the taste with one film, then I should keep on making that film. The reason I do kind of films is that at the end of my career, like Chennai Express was a kind of film for me. It's not, a lot of people say whether I should be doing that kind of cinema or not, but I had not done that kind of film. Now I've done it. I have not done Ahsoka kind of film. Somebody saw the other day and said, you did Ahsoka historical. No, historical is not a kind, it's not just a film historical sab mein aa gaya. But it was a kind of film. It's an offbeat film.
You did a Ra one, which was way ahead of its time.
So, Swades, which people didn't like then, like now. So you have to do all kinds of films. I think what I would leave you with is, like you said, if there is a change coming, you as a star, I think people who are in position to make the choices without having to make the choice just of survival, they should choose the films, different kind of films. So if I fail with Ravan, it does not make a difference because there will be somebody else later who will at least use that knowledge and make another film like that. I think that's how you should leave the thought, not is it going to change the cinema, it's going to, nothing, entertainment does not change because right now at your, I'll give you your example. So when you were younger, you may have liked certain kind of films. Now today you like different kind of films. So cinema has not changed. You have changed.
That's true.
But a younger kid is liking that film that you liked 10 years ago, or maybe something completely different.
I will never forget, in this house, Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna, one of my all-time favorite films, of absolute all-time. And I think it was far ahead of the audiences. Yeah. That is one film that has stayed with me 10 years, 12 years from now, and I think will continue to stay with me for a very long time.
Strangely, people hated me in the film. Like, how can
I think they couldn't understand how
the cynicism of that
the Raj and the Rahuls that they had loved could ever be like that. But thank you so much, sir, for joining us.
Bless you, man.
Make sure, I mean, you don't really need it. Like you know, Shahrukh sir said that big ticket films sometimes sort of get their own audience. But this is a tough one, you know. I mean, it's going to be, I mean, for us, when I see Shahrukh sir in that kind of role, it's a risk for us, not for them. But it's a risk, you know, we're thinking, will the audience come, will they not come? That we'll all figure out. But for now, it's just looking fantastic, and that's why we're going to keep our fingers crossed. Till the next time, take care, and we'll see you soon.